Hello there. We're going to be taking a wee look at Aeronautica Imperialis, which is the new Games Workshop aerial combat game set in the Warhammer 40k universe. Doing something a wee bit different this time. I'm going to be playing Aeronautica Imperialis with my 12-year-old daughter. She doesn't know anything about the rules, so I'm going to explain the rules to her. We're going to have a wee go of the game and we're going to see what she thinks. I will relate back with what she thinks. She's sitting right here off camera. She's not appearing on camera. You can see her hand. Hold on, I'll get her. Give me her hand. As proof. Here is her hand. So we're going to have a shot of this and let you know what we think of this new aerial combat game. Straight from the horse's mouth. The horse being my daughter. A horse. So we've just finished a game of Aeronautica Imperialis, and just a dogfight, just a simple dogfight with a couple of planes each. A simple dogfight because the dogfight is the only scenario you get in the core, the base box. And who won? Well, my daughter won. She basically, I couldn't cope. She was playing the orcs, and the orc jets are these fast wee jets. Very, very hard to catch up with. Zipping around the board, and I was the Imperial Navy with my kind of big Thunderbolt fighters, and we were just struggling to get a target on them, you know. So basically, I did 1 point of damage to her ships, and she took down one of my ships, one of my planes. What did you think of the game, though?
I thought it was good.
Thought it was good? She thought it was good. Did you think it was complicated?
No. Once you get the hang of it, it's not complicated.
She didn't think it was complicated. Once you get the hang of it, she thought it was pretty easy. I've got further thoughts on this, but I just thought it would be interesting to play it with a new player and have a wee look at it. Obviously, this was very, very a basic wee game of it because we weren't including some of the other aircraft, and we weren't able to use some of our weapons. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about actually in terms of what's included in this base game, which we'll get to in a minute. But first of all, let's give you a wee overview of what's in the box and what to expect for the game, and then I'll move on to telling you what I think of Aeronautica Imperialis. Okay, so let's quickly show you what's in the box. You've got dice, you've got a bunch of tokens, cardboard tokens, and these tokens are used for selecting manoeuvres. You've got some movement diagrams you get as well. These are the kind of manoeuvres that your planes can do, and you basically choose which one you want to do. Let's say I want to do manoeuvre 3 here. You would take the number 3 token and you would put it face down beside your plane. Simple as that. That's how we do movement. So you get tokens, you get this, you get a rule book, you get a bunch of planes. Here they all come. And these are all in the base set. This map is also in the base set. Here they all are. A bunch of planes here, ready for battling. This is a two-sided, and it's just a paper sheet, but it's two-sided. It gives you some stuff to play on. And you get a rules book. The rule book is here. And I have taken the staples out of my rule book to pull out pages to use for reference, which is something I will talk about in this review. The fact that I had to remove some staples. I mean, come on, you shouldn't have to remove staples, should you? You shouldn't have to remove a staple. So here's a plane, you know, very cool, looks good, very nice, but you have to build it, and you have to clip it all out for its sprues, and you have to glue it together, which is something that I enjoy. I enjoy doing that kind of thing, but it's something to be aware of out there if you fancy this game, that you're going to have to do a fair amount of assembly first and These are not the most simple to assemble things either, quite small parts, a wee bit fiddly. Not difficult by any means, but fiddly and takes a bit of time. Takes a bit of time to get all your aircraft built. Bear that in mind before you go any further. But the planes all look great. Once you do build them up, they look great, and I think painting them will be a lot of fun. But it takes some time. Hey, now it's time. It's late at night. It's time for you to hear my thoughts on Aeronautica Imperialis. If you can see me behind this mic, we could do some ASMR, some Warhammer related ASMR. Space Marines blood. Blood for the blood god. Aeronautica Imperialis is an interesting one. A very interesting one. A tough little game to review. I'm going to talk about the box itself. Aeronautica Imperialis, Wings of Vengeance. There's your core box for Aeronautica Imperialis, okay? And you get a good amount of planes in there, a good amount of models. And you have one scenario, a dogfight, to play. Now, it's very difficult to talk about this kind of miniatures game, a miniatures game about dogfighting, and not talk about X-Wing, Fantasy Flight's big, massively successful space dogfighting game. The first thing I think you need to address is Aeronautica Imperialis a better game than X-Wing? And the answer is yes. For me, yes it is. There is more interesting stuff going on with Aeronautica Imperialis. There's a lot more drama in the selection of when you're choosing your speed and you're choosing your altitude, and you really get that sense of your aircrafts ducking and diving over and under each other. So that's good. And there is also a greater amount of accuracy in how your aircraft move as well. In X-Wing, it's a wee bit woolly. It's very approachable, right? Very approachable, very nice, but those templates are a wee bit woolly. Things get nudged a wee bit, and it's just not quite precise. And sometimes, that can be very important. It can be very important in a game. That those wee moments of precision can sometimes cause a bit of an issue. You don't have to worry about that with Aeronautica Imperialis because it is hex based, and so it's all very tight. And it's interesting the fact that you can choose your manoeuvres, and there is more flexibility in the choosing of the manoeuvres and how you actually manoeuvre once your plans are revealed. There's more flexibility here in this game than there is with something like X-Wing. So, is it a better game than X-Wing? Yes. Great fun game, and it really feels like a dogfight. It really feels like a dogfight. My issues with the game are, I think, purely in how it's packaged. So to read the stats for your aircraft, you have to go to the pages in the book, where in the pages of the book they have an image of the card. Basically, it's like a statistics card, right? It's your stats for your ship, and they've got the card printed in the book, and it says the cards are available to buy elsewhere, and that feels cheap to me, to do that. It feels a wee bit tacky to me that they didn't give you the cards in the box, to print the cards in the books to say, here's what the cards look like, and then you're constantly having to refer to the book. And that's why I had to pull pages out of my book. I just decided I'm going to pull the staples out of this, and so I can hand out the pages as information sheets to the players. And that's a shame. I mean, they really should have stuck the cards in for the planes that are in. I understand that they want to sell the card packs, but I think you could have at least put in the cards for the aircraft. I think that is a shame, and something that will probably frustrate quite a lot of people. Like I said, from a modelling point of view, a wee bit more tricky to put together than some of the other Games Workshop stuff. However, the ships look great, the models look great. The game itself is a whole load of fun, and very dramatic. Very dramatic. That's the thing with this game. Drama. And you're even in this base box where you don't have things like the, they talk about the fact there's going to be ace pilots and, certain things you can kit out your aircraft with. And there's going to be, in the future, the ability to make your ships more specific to you. And there's a campaign book and all of that kind of stuff. But even in this base box, there's a lot of drama just in seeing aircraft flying about shooting at each other. I was very much enjoying my Imperial Navy ships struggling with the speed of the Orc planes. The Orc planes were just, my daughter's Orc planes were just flying in, peppering me, coming up close, unloading loads of dice on me. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun seeing which dice will hit, which dice will damage, trying to adjust your height, diving. What I love in this game, most of all, is the fact that you can try to evade your enemy by quickly diving or ascending, but then there's a risk of stalling and spinning, or there's a risk of breaking up if you dive too fast. There's a real kind of pushing your luck thing as well in this. Well, I need to get out of trouble here, I need to dive. Your speed goes up, you might break up, you've went above your maximum speed, you're going to roll, are you going to break up? There's a lot of these kind of dramatic moments. There's a lot of drama here, and that's what Games Workshop are good at. I think they're good at drama, and Aeronautica Imperialis is just another good dramatic Games Workshop game. Like I said, there are a few wee negatives there, and that's purely about how they've decided to package this core box. I think it's a shame. I think there could have been a wee bit more in there to make the game easier to play in terms of the cards and stuff like that. And, I think they could have done that safely while encouraging people to invest more money into other stuff in the line. But if you want to play a flight game, dogfighting game, dramatic dogfighting game, you can't really go wrong with this. You're really going to like this. And if you're somebody who plays something like X-Wing and enjoys that already, I think you get a real kick out of this as well. I think if you play X-Wing, you will also enjoy this. And I think it's a wee step, a slight more complexity, I would say, a wee bit more complexity. It's a tricky one, that. It's merely a step to the side and up than just a step up. But I'm curious to see what the expansion book and stuff like that is going to, what the big campaign book will add to this. I think it might add quite a lot, so I'm excited to look at that, and I will look at that. And when I do, you'll be the first to know what it's like. So that's my review of Aeronautica Imperialis. I think it's well worth checking out. I think it's another good release from Games Workshop, but a slightly more frustrating way of delivering their product this time. But the game itself, great fun, and I love hexes. It's nice to see a hex again. I'm happy to see a hex. Hextaft.